So A/B testing on Crazy is a really powerful and helpful tool for optimizing your website and increasing its performance, increasing its engagement, increasing its conversion rate with data. So what you want to do with A/B testing is to take ideas, hypotheses about how you want to improve your website, be that new page designs, new images, new copywriting, even new offers and new campaigns. And you might take those ideas and think, I don't know for sure which is going to work. Luckily, you can use A/B testing to set up a clean experiment to figure out which of these actually improve performance on your website. And so you can identify which designs and which campaigns work best with which visitors, and so as a result improve your website's performance using data. So let's get started. Now, first step in setting up A/B testing is actually not to set up an A/B test, but actually to go and set up conversion events. So these are high value events that are really worth something and valuable to your business. So first off, I can hit track new conversions, and I can go onto my website and decide, okay, I want to track specific clicks on a specific page, and so I put in the page that I want to track clicks on elements on, and I can click that. I can pick, for example, people who reach a certain page. That's going to be really, really helpful for thank you pages or confirmation pages, even say mid-funnel events or top-of-funnel events, like someone visiting a PDP or getting to a cart or a checkout page. You can track people filling in a certain form, and you can basically just put in the URL and track the form directly on the page. But there's also some more advanced options as well. For example, if you use Google Tag Manager, you can simply copy and paste this custom HTML code as a custom event code into Google Tag Manager and have it mapped to whatever trigger you want to have it add. You can actually also use Crazy Egg to detect conversion events that are sent to other ad platforms or e-commerce platforms or analytics platforms. And then instead of having to track new conversion events there, we can simply track whatever is already getting sent to those other platforms. So for example, I can track, conversion events that are sent to Google, to TikTok, to Meta. I can track conversion events like add to carts or checkouts that are being sent to e-commerce platforms like Shopify or Squarespace. And lastly, you can even have us track conversion events that are being sent to GA4. GA4 of course is a very, very common way to actually track conversion events for just traffic analytics and conversion reporting purposes. So we can track those as well, so you don't have to do much additional configuration. And lastly, if you do server-side conversion tracking, which is a very precise option that is often used by a lot of digital advertisers, for example, then there's a server-side conversions tracking API as well, which Crazy Egg has, which means you can send conversion data from your servers directly into Crazy Egg and get maximum precision there. So that's the first thing you want to do. And once you already have that set up, then you're going to be able to get some basic analytics on your conversions in Crazy Egg as well. So you'll see here the number of conversions that are happening per day, which pages they're happening on, and which A/B tests are using my conversion events as well. You can have set up multiple different conversion events. You can have multiple triggers within those individual conversion events. Why I usually recommend that when you start off doing conversion events, just set up one trigger for every conversion event as well. Now let's get started with A/B testing. So when you want to create a brand new A/B test, you go here. Now you have two options. First is URL redirect option. This is ideal if you have a very big page design that you want to test. And basically what's going to happen is if you put in the control, you can instead send your traffic to a second URL, say quicksprout.com/A, or even quicksprout.com/B. And so you can essentially reroute that traffic to those new test URLs that are already live. Now that's ideal for really big page designs, but say if you want to launch some really quick improvements, say changes in copy, changes in images, without having to touch any code, or at least not having to touch a little bit of code or a ton of code, you can use a page editor option. Now, it's a very similar process. You'll set up the URL for control. You'll also notice that there's an option to target this test based off of specific types of visitors. So not only can you target tests by different device types, based off of your plan, you can target tests by, say, UTM parameters. So I can target specific campaigns, specifically ad traffic from Facebook, for example, even target A/B tests and effectively personalize the website based off of specific content parameters as well. I can target based off of the pages they visited within the session, the original landing page, even their conversion status, or for example, the country or the visitor. So I can do tailoring based off of their traffic source of their ad campaign, which is great for digital marketers. I can do localization by targeting based off of country. And if I'm very advanced and this is available in more advanced plans, I can even target based off new returning, conversions, or visitor. And, Crazy Egg doesn't natively track visitor identifiers, but if you do send visitor identifiers into Crazy Egg, then you can in fact target A/B tests based off of those identifiers and effectively perform real personalization based off of that. But by default, Crazy doesn't track that. Now, let's say I want to track, for example, I want to track people that did click the homepage button and did not submit the get a demo form. So now you'll notice here is that I can actually layer in multiple targeting segments using and or filters as well, and I can add additional conditions like say, I want to target traffic where the UTM source is Facebook, and where the UTM medium would say paid, for example, right? And you notice there's no limit on the number of filters you can add. Now, the availability of these different filters is available by plan. And if you want to see what options are available by plan, go to the support doc on A/B testing and audience targeting, and you'll see here at the bottom that you can see an entire table of the available options as well. Now, let's go back, right? So let's say I want to apply, the targeting based off of these filters, and hit next. This will take me into the WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get page editor. That allows me to actually see the page's design come up and then decide which edits I want to make. So you'll see that it takes you into a real version of a QuickSprout homepage. I can type in something, let's say, welcome to QuickSprout. Welcome to QuickSprout. I can change the formatting, I can change the font size, I can add a hyperlink or the text. I can see AI suggestions for different copy I might want to add as well. I can change the colors, not just text color, but background color, border color, hover color. I can even choose to hide the element. I can, if I click and then move it around, I can change it like that. Or if I want to make a little bit more advanced changes and I know a little bit of HTML or CSS, I can actually click in and then update the code for the HTML for that specific element right here. Effectively meaning that if I know a little bit of HTML, then I can change that one particular element without having to change the entire thing. And so if you already have a lot of, say, custom formatting or, the custom things that you want to do with the HTML editor, then you can do that for just one or two elements right here. Now with Crazy Egg, the A/B testing editor, you can actually click this drop up here and create new variants. So I can add an additional variant here and then click the rubbish bin, the trash can to get rid of variants if I don't like what I did. If I want to preview what it's going to look like at different device types, I can go click this button here to preview on mobile, even view it on different, say, screen sizes. So say Pixel 8 Pro here. I can have undo and redo buttons. I can preview the changes in a new tab, which will open up a new tab. I can also go to interactive mode, where effectively I can see, what happens if I'm a real user, say, clicking the toggle right here. And you'll notice, for example, there's a header menu option right here, right, which is hidden. But if I want to change that header menu, then I can actually highlight the header menu, edit HTML, and boom, now I can actually edit that HTML header menu and then decide what I want to do with it, basically. So not just stuff that's visible on the page, but even stuff that's more hidden on the page as well. Now, the next step is then to go and choose the conversion. Now, this is where the conversion events that I mentioned earlier are going to come in important, because now you can, you're going to be able to track any conversion events and look at reporting for any conversion events that you've already set up to tracking. But in order to get that conversion tracking, you ideally want to set up the conversion tracking ahead of when you launch an A/B test, so that you can look at it all later. And I'm going to show what that looks like. Now, say I want to pick the primary conversion of it that I want to look at. Click the homepage button or link, I hit click next. And then lastly, I give the option to automatically route the traffic or do it, say, 50-50, or if I want to do it 80-20, I have that option, however many variants I want to set up. And lastly, I have the opportunity to review all my test settings, to create give my test a name. And lastly, by default, but you can disable if you want, although I recommend keeping it, is to create a heat map for each variant of this test. And what this will do is this will automatically create a separate heat map for each variant of that test. And so when you go into your heat maps for this, you'll actually see a drop-down menu on the top right of the heat maps to actually see and toggle between different heat maps for variants within the same A/B test, which makes analyzing this data within heat maps really easy, and especially means you can use our AI, for example, to analyze behavior and understand in the nitty-gritty what's happening, not just with the conversion rate. But let's see what this looks like, right? And if I go that far, then it'll automatically save this as a draft. But let's see what this looks like in actual results, right? So if I click to this option, I have the opportunity to see the conversion performance, both in traffic and conversion rate, along with statistical significance and the conversion value, if I'm sending that in, for each of these variants. I can see that performance over time. I can toggle the date range. I can actually even toggle between different conversion events, so I can actually track what the conversion performance is for each of these different things, whether or not I decided this was something that this was going to be the primary focus of the event ahead of time. Now, this is already an ended test, but when you have an already live test, you actually have a lot of options here to not just share the test preview, share the test results while it's in flight, but also to change the primary conversion event, to add new variants, to edit existing variants, to delete variants even, or retire them rather, or even to view the split details and then change the traffic split of a test. And as a result, I can actually see a ton of what's going on with these different page events as well. Now, one last traffic reporting option that's available as well, because obviously, the A/B testing reporting is going to tell you about conversion rate performance. This, the heat maps is going to give you a lot of a behavioral analysis and then help you understand what the engagement of those visitors looks like as well. But we also have the Google Analytics 4 integration for Crazy Egg A/B tests. We're effectively going to send a custom dimension called event name, the A/B test name, the A/B test ID, and the page variant ID and name into GA4. And that means that you can use that custom dimension to actually look at all the different metrics that you already have in GA4 for these different page variants. You can look at bounce rate, engagement rate, average time on page, things like that. And so as a result, you get a really full view of the A/B test performance, not just in Crazy Egg, but in GA4 as well. And yeah, that's it for using A/B testing. It really is that simple, and it's really is that easy to set up.